Oh, what's going down, commanders? Right, in this video, I'm going to try to explain best I can to my knowledge how this base weakness works. So I've got a tune there, and every single one of the units, bar one, should have this some stat within this range. And this is how I've worked it out, right? So if you use any one of these four units, the Z77, Diamondback, War Buggy, or Plim, you'll get a 16 times damage output. Now, I've only found two units that can match three of these, which is the Moon Skater, which will match faction, light armor, and vehicle. And then I've also worked out that the, what's it called, Zeus, matches three tags. It matches the unique, vehicle, and light armor, or, yeah, light armor. So it should do a 16 times more damage to this base. If I show you what I've got, and then we go through the pattern. So I have brought this with me, right? This is what I'm working out in my own head. I don't know if this is right or not. I can use other units, they just don't get the damage buff. They don't get the 16 times or 20 times damage buff. So using that doesn't detract from using the base weakness units. I'm fucking having a hard time saying that. And same as the Avery, I don't think, although it is the War Buggy hero, I'm not sure whether that comes under the War Buggy umbrella with this base weakness. That's something I want to test. But the War Buggies definitely do, because they're in that, so they get 16 times more damage output. And then I've bought a Moon Skater with me, which matches three of the tags, which will give it a 20 times more damage output. And this guy is the only one I've found in with the unique status that's got light armor, vehicle, and a unique unit. So that should get a 20 times output. So 20 times 496. 10 times is, what's that? I'm gonna have to get my calculator out. My brain ain't working too well this morning. So 496 times 20 equals the output. Hang on. Let me get my calculator out. So just to make sure I've got it right, calc. So we're looking at the Zeus. So it's what did I say? 496. 496 times 20 equals 9,920. Let's zero that off. Same with the Moon Skater. The damage output on that is, I'm only taking per shot. I'm not doing per second. 845. 845 times 20 equals 16,900. And the War Buggies will give us an output of 1055. 1055 times, this is 16 because it doesn't, does it match two? No, it doesn't match two of the wassets. It matches one. Can't remember what we got for one. I think you had to match two. It matches the vehicle, it doesn't match any of the others. So it's just a 16 times damage output. I'll go back here. Times by 16 gives it a 16,000 again. So I'm going to go in here and we're going to see what sort of damage output. You can use other units in this. As far as I'm aware, it doesn't take away from the buff that the base weakness gives you. So you can use your high priority crap in there with you. Zoom in. So I just want to get to a point where these units come at me and see where we end up. Hopefully these run off up to that. There we go. Kills him pretty quick. So that doesn't subtract by the looks of it. Zeus, on the other hand, he should he's got the range to tank these units out, I think. Let's see. It's a 700 range unit, so let's see if we can use him to pick off units from a distance. Seems to be doing quite a bit of damage. Not great by any means. But he's doing a bit more damage than he would normally, I think. The Zeus works well. Let's try this guy. Get him out of the way. I don't want to get Zeus hit because he's quite a long time to repair. Now, this should be a 16,000 DPS unit, according to the base weakness. I'd love to know the stats. See, without knowing the stats of the enemy unit, we can't 100% tell whether this base weakness is working for us or not. But that seems to be killing quick. If you don't get caught up in a smoke. That's my problem with these. Their turn speed is atrocious. It's doing a 16. I think they're doing it, but again, I just can't prove whether they are or they aren't. I'm not going to hit the next base. I just wanted to show you what my idea was of how this works. A lot of people are asking me, what's it all about? I'm going to be honest with you guys. I've ignored it. I've used the units I wanted to use over the units kixeye want me to use, because it feels like they're determining, telling me how to play their game, basically. But it kind of makes sense for players that haven't got a full set of the newest units. They're a little bit behind, or they've been given some free stuff. This base weakness will work for you guys that haven't got all the top stuff. I just want to go into Bravo and see what the base weakness there is, and we'll see what sort of units we can put into it. So, is there no base weakness? Would help if I got my HUD up. That's the same thing again. Exactly the same. There's no change in it. There's no difference. It's all the same units. Use Z77s, Diamondback, War Buggy, or Plim. And this is the thing. You can use other stuff with it. That's what I'm trying to get across to you guys. It doesn't take away from the damage output, the 16 times damage output, if you've got other units in there. It doesn't work like a faction trait where you have to have all the same faction in, etc., etc. This is just the damage output if you use these units, or if the units have got 2 to 3 of these tags. Match 1. It did get an extra bit of damage, guys, the other units, because it did match 1. So yeah, you've just got to match them up. So light vehicle would be War Buggy, which would be match 1. That gives him another 2 times damage on the 16. And a vehicle would give him match 2. That's at 5. So that's 21 times the damage. If you use the War Buggy, you've got the armor that's light, and you've got vehicle type, which would be War Buggy. I think that's heavy, and obviously I don't know why they've put Diamondbacks in there. They're going to get smoked. It makes no sense. But yeah, I think I'm explaining it right, guys. Hopefully I've got kind of trying to get my head around what Kixeye is trying to explain. I don't think this is necessarily going to be for the upper echelon of players. You could use these units if you really wanted to and test it out and work it out yourselves. But I think this is more designed to help the lower players get a jump in the game, right over the older players, over the players that have got everything and up to a decent level. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there, guys. Hopefully I've explained it all right. I keep saying hopefully. I truly hope I've got it right, and it kind of makes sense. It doesn't make sense for me as a player, because I've got units that are way beyond that. But for the players that haven't got the units that are way beyond that, this is the way you want to go. You want to make sure you utilise that base weakness in your platoon setup when you're attacking these bases. Anyway, guys, take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.